Hello everyone, I'm Nnamdi Odipo. We are in Abuja. Welcome to the Ballot.
You're welcome. Hold on. You're welcome. Thank you.
Matters pertaining the PCCs resolved in order to make progress. Most of the parties affected are having to review and expand their councils or are in the process of doing so. Let's take a few reactions from some of the affected ones. Of course, not all of them, and again, not in any particular order, I should say.
We are very, very comfortable. We have established machinery for resolving any that may hang. We're very sure that we are together at least on the same page. At the moment, we are consolidating the momentum that will help us establish a new Nigeria come May 29, 2023.
To call on the presidential candidate to review its appointment, of members of the Presidential Campaign Council and other advisory appointments to make it all inclusive.
Meanwhile, we are used to parties making claims, some realistic and within reach, while some could very well be outlandish and ludicrous. This electioneering season is no different, as parties have already begun to lay claims to votes that they believe to have in the bag, or so they say. While the confidence of the ruling APC is buoyed by its last victory at the 2019 presidential election, the People's Democratic Party has repeatedly reminded anyone who cares to listen of the 11 million votes it got in the last presidential polls. Now we hear the new but not so new kid on the block. The Labour Party is laying claims to at least 15 million votes.
There are 34 million Nigerians on social media. I'm telling you, our research shows that 60% of these people have PVCs. Over 50% of them are obedient. So, without taxing, we have to go from a minimum of 15 million votes.
I am sure the parties may feel inclined to laying claims as well. That is well within their rights of freedom of speech, but is it a bragging right that they can actually live up to? And of course, that goes for all of the parties. Let's see if my guest is in the vote in the bag kind of mood. He is Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso, presidential candidate, New Nigerian People's Party. Welcome to the Ballot, Your Excellency. By the way, Senator, the spokesperson for your campaign council, Ladipo Johnson, quite recently dismissed some polls hinting on the likely results of the 2023 presidential election, as he actually described them as misleading, partisan, and inaccurate. But then, have you been making claims to any particular number of votes has been already in the bag? If yes, what parameters or empirical analysis did you use to arrive at the figure? And if no, or should I say if not yet, then perhaps I should ask you if you feel confident enough to believe that your Kwakwanso movement or philosophy is resonating with Nigerians generally and not just within Kano or other parts of the Northwest.
Nigerians, let me begin by thanking all Nigerians, especially members of our party, the NNPP, New Nigeria People's Party, for all the support they gave us, especially in the last 6-7 months, when we had an opportunity to register our members across the country. We are the first and at stage only political party that submitted our list of registered members in the country. And also thank our colleagues, my colleagues, the candidates right from the state assembly to presidential, for finding our party worthy of contesting election under. And I'm so happy that in the last couple of months, I had an opportunity to go around the country. In fact, in northern Nigeria today, we have only 2 or 3 states that we have not officially visited. And of course, in the south, we have done so many states. And very soon, we are going to conclude visiting those states. And let me say that the Kwakwanso has been on ground for many years, and of course it is everywhere, not only in northern Nigeria, but even in the southern part of the country. I'm so happy that people are always talking about Kano, Northwest, some will say northern Nigeria, but our party is a national party. In fact, the founder of the party is from Anambra State, Southeast, and this party has been on ground for over 21 years now. And I'm so happy that like wildfire, when we started, this party for us is #1 party today in this country. But of course, people may want to argue the unrealistic opinion poll and so on and so forth. We are very realistic. We are people on the ground. We are not people in the air, people who are just in the social media and so on and so forth. We are well grounded, and it's just a matter of time. And let me say that
yes,
we are always very happy for people who decide to underrate us, even though the reality is always coming up now. People believe that we are the party to beat, especially that the 2 or 3 parties that we have in this country have all reached their peak. There is nothing they will do or say to make them any higher than they were or they are today. It is only the NNPP that is getting its momentum now. Whatever they lose, we gain. It is the only very peaceful and of course successful party as we stand today. So we have our practical way of measuring the popularity of our party vis-a-vis other political parties. But I'm happy to say that when we started 6-7 months ago, nobody was giving us any chance in this country. There are so many people who believe that nobody could start any party thing other than the PDP and the APC and bring it to this level. So we are very happy, and we are not in a hurry to go and say we are #1 or #2 or #3. We know who we are.
I was actually hoping I could pin you down on the figure, but Your Excellency, I can see that your you're determined to avoid mentioning any particular figure. And of course, I can understand that. But I must confess that I have not been able to lay my hands on a hard copy of of the NNPP manifesto. But I have been watching and listening to you. I mean, you've been addressing your supporters from Lagos to Kano and other parts of the country, like you have mentioned. You have been quite, quick on your feet, I must say. You have promised a new direction and a new Nigeria. And that speaks to the core issue of ending poverty. But please, tell me how you plan to end poverty in a vastly non-manufacturing country with a rising debt profile, depreciating currency value, a growing budget deficit, and a place where insecurity is still an issue, while power generation and transmission are not meeting the desired target.
I'm sure you can go on and on and on what are not on the ground, but I can tell you confidently that I have been facing such challenges in the past, and we were able to overcome the challenges of that time. And that is why I equally believe that given the opportunity, all those issues that are on the ground, we should be able to sort them out.
Also, Your Excellency, also, because belief will not get us there.
Yes, that's what I'm giving you. You see, in 2023, all the candidates should put their achievements on the table for Nigerians to see. That's why I was just trying to tell you that I am well experienced in the civil service. I have 30 years experience today in politics, beginning from 1992 when I was Deputy Speaker, House of Reps to date. I have been to almost everywhere. And I'm happy to say that with the capacity and integrity, determination and commitment, we are able to make success in each and every position we found ourselves. That's why I was trying to tell you that in 1999, Kano was in a total mess with a lot of debt from the military. But for 4 years, my first 4 years, I was able to settle all the debt and of course did all the programs and projects out of our resources, out of our means, to the extent that when I lost election in 2003, I left Kano with zero debt. The same thing after 8 years, I went back to Kano and my successor borrowed hundreds of millions of US dollars from World Bank and so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, for the 4 years I was governor, I was able to settle that bill and left Kano with zero debt. So the issue of debt is not unknown to me. And I can tell you confidently that anybody who says there is no money in this country, either as a governor or even at national level, maybe they don't know. Of course, it's not going to be easy. A lot of hard decisions must be taken, just like we did in Kano, to handle the issue of the debt, to also handle the other vices that we see today in this country, ranging from the issue of insecurity, the issue of the economy, the issue of education, infrastructure, and so on and so forth. So for me, it's not a new thing. It's a known terrain to inherit
apparently,
issues
you're relying on experience. Senator, you're relying on experience, and if we are speaking honestly here, you have been part of our political system for quite some time now. I mean, since your days in the SDP in 1992, and even as a federal representative at that time, I believe it was Madobi Federal Constituency, if I do recall. You have since moved on to becoming a governor, a minister, now a senator. I mean, well, a senator and now a presidential candidate, just so I get it right. Successfully this time after several attempts in the past. So you have been there in terms of experience. Yet, that begs the question of what changed in all of the areas. Well, you did mention that, but what do you want in terms of the vast majority of Nigerians having to put their trust in you to take them on the path that, I mean, that this rather struggling giant should be? What assurance are they getting that, look, I mean, you're looking beyond experience alone, because our realities have changed since all of these past accolades and accomplishments that you did in Kano and elsewhere in the past?
Just to come from nothing and claim that you will do magic. I have been in the field. I have been very current. I have been moving with time. It's not to say that for 30 years ago I was this, and since then.
I was
that we have in this country. We know the issues, and these are issues that must be tackled. And of course, the issue of insecurity definitely breeds so many other negative things, including the insecurity, including the economy. Since as it stands today, so many people cannot go to the farm, so many people cannot move freely to buy and sell goods and services. So many people now cannot even participate in the modern economy because of the security situation. And that's why the issue of security is very critical. And I am happy to say that I'm very conversant with the military and, of course, other security agencies when I had an opportunity to serve as governor and, of course, as Minister of Defense. And first and foremost, I'm happy to say that anybody who is is aspiring to be president of this country, and any country for that matter, should ensure that is very conversant with those institutions, and of course the military itself is confident and of course has confidence in that particular person as the commander-in-chief. And that person must be somebody of integrity and capacity. You see, some of the issues that we are seeing today at all levels of government are issues. The capacity is very important. If you cannot do anything or you cannot do something, then you cannot do it. And that's why even to select the best brains, best hands to handle issues in the security area and other places in this country, they are very critical. So I am happy to say that we have in our blueprint the details of what we are going to do in terms of the military and other security agencies to bring peace and sanity in this country within our first 1 year. And also, I'm happy to say that we have worked over some time now with the security on the ground when people will be freely to move with, in this country. That will help people from elsewhere to come and invest in our economy. That will encourage Nigerians themselves to invest in our economy. And of course, that will help in ensuring other requirements of economy are being put in place, especially the issue of power that you mentioned, the issue of other infrastructure, which we are going to work with Nigerian contractors, both people from within the country and those who came, our friends, contractors who came from elsewhere. Now we'll come out with details of what should be done so that our infrastructure within the shortest possible time are being repaired without necessarily
but of course, I intend to grab a copy of your party's manifesto, but I think it's even more important for Nigerians to understand the workings. I mean, your plans, your development blueprints for the country. I very much, but for lack of time, I was hoping we could talk about specific issues of realigning our federalism, revenue and resource control, as well as issues of the environment environment and pollution as well. But unfortunately, we're fast losing time. We're not done with you yet, Your Excellency. We intend to have you help us tick some boxes, some policy issues. But just before that, I'd like to give you some breather. If you have a glass of water there, please sip please have some water. I noticed you were coughing a couple of seconds ago. So please, let's just take a couple of seconds to give you a breather, and we will be back to tick the boxes. Thanks for staying with us. We seem to be having some connection issue with our guest, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso, presidential candidate for the new Nigeria People's Party. Unfortunately, we were unable to get him back. Would like to thank him very much for coming on our program, The Ballot. We, of course, do wish him well in his current campaign. Time now to gauge some responses on some issues on the ballot. Mind you, all of the targets are within the context of a president's first term in office, which is a period of 4 years. Let's begin. And I do have a guest all the way from the United States of America, my very good friend Olukorede Yishua. He is the nation's United States Bureau Chief, also a columnist for the nation. Olukorede, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Namdi, for having me. Thank you.
Okay, so we do have the box there in front of you. If we can just put that up. There are 4 issues on the ballot here today. Your options are, you have the option of ticking on realistic. If you do think the issues, any of the issues for that matter, is realistic, there's also unrealistic, and there's also the issue of undecided. Let's begin with the first issue there, Korede, which is ending insecurity and inequalities, I beg your pardon, in 4 years. Do you think that is realistic? Is that unrealistic? Are you undecided on the matter?
It's absolutely unrealistic.
Why do you say so?
Well, the truth is that everywhere in the world, even in the West, there is inequality. Even in a place as advanced as the US, you still see people who don't have jobs. So inequalities can only be reduced. It can't be ended. It's not possible.
Okay, great. Let's quickly move to the second issue, Olukorede, which is subsidized tertiary education. If you can hear me clearly, there seems to be some connection issue, even from you. I'm wondering if it's from our end or from your end. But number 2 on our box there is subsidized tertiary education. Do you think that is realistic within the context of 4 years? Do you think that is unrealistic? Are you undecided on the matter?
Well, I also believe that is unrealistic. Education everywhere in the world, it is very expensive.
Your connection to us is actually very poor. Let's see if we can quickly run through these issues before it goes off on us. Let's quickly move to item number 3 there on our board, ending conflicts within the context of farmers-herders conflict. For instance, do you think that is realistic? Do you think that is unrealistic? Or which of the options are you going with?
I think that is realistic. I think it's realistic within 4 years to end farmer-herders crisis. It's just a matter of sitting the 2 parties together, getting to understand what the problem is and addressing the issue. I think that is realistic within 4 years.
Fantastic. And very quickly, ending mass unemployment in Nigeria in 4 years. Which of the options are you going with there?
Well, I think that is also unrealistic. I think we can only minimize it. We can't end it in 4 years. It's not possible.
And I would like to thank you so much, Olukorede Yishua, the nation's United States Bureau Chief and columnist. I'd like to appreciate you for joining us all the way from America, from the United States of America. I'd like to be like you when I grow up someday.
Thank you, Namdi.
Thank you so much. Today is Tuesday, October 18, meaning we have 130 days on our countdown to Election Day. Are you prepped already for the elections? You should be prepared because your votes matter. We will be joining, I hope you'll be joining us, of course, not same time, because on Wednesdays, our program will come to you at 10:30 every Wednesday. Do make time to join us tomorrow. Same channel, 10:30 tomorrow, and then I'll see you at the time. My name is Nnamdi Odikpo. See you then.